In this podcast episode, Tim and Demi Tebow share their unique and inspiring life journeys, touching on Demi's upbringing in South Africa and her unexpected rise to fame as Miss Universe, Tim's athletic career and personal growth beyond sports, and their married life rooted in shared values and purpose. They bravely discuss traumatic moments, including Demi's harrowing carjacking experience and their joint commitment to combating human trafficking. The conversation also explores the role of faith, overcoming setbacks, health and wellness routines, and the guiding principles that shape their family and philanthropic work. Demi Tebow recounts growing up in a small farming town in South Africa where life was simple and community-oriented, drastically different from the fast pace of the United States. The culture emphasized a slower rhythm, with the entire country often shutting down in December for holidays, a tradition she misses deeply alongside South African humor. At 22, after winning Miss South Africa and later Miss Universe, she transitioned to New York City and experienced a new form of responsibility. For her, being Miss Universe was less about fame and more about serving as an ambassador for women's issues, which involved speaking at government meetings and advocating for causes. Preparing for the competition involved intense work, including pausing her native language, Afrikaans, to refine her English, and training physically and emotionally to handle varied topics. Demi shares a traumatic event that occurred while she was preparing for Miss Universe, a carjacking at gunpoint by multiple armed men. She explains how safety training her father provided, including self-defense, allowed her to act decisively, punching an attacker in the throat, and escape. The ordeal left deep emotional scars, including fear of driving and hypervigilance, which she addressed through EMDR therapy, a treatment involving tapping to heal trauma. What haunted her most was the response of the bystanders during her escape. No one stopped to help despite the heavy traffic and open windows, until a young 19-year-old woman finally offered assistance. This moment was a turning point for Demi, inspiring her to advocate fiercely against human trafficking and to raise awareness about the value of seeing and supporting the vulnerable. Tim Tebow reflects on his origins in a competitive missionary family and his early passion for sports. Born in the Philippines and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, Tim was naturally driven to excel in baseball, basketball, and eventually football, which he loved deeply. His parents instilled values beyond athletic success, encouraging him to use any platform he gained for a higher purpose. Tim's defining moment came at 15 during a mission trip to the Philippines, where he met a boy with severe deformities who was ostracized by society. This encounter shifted Tim's perspective from personal achievement in sports to a broader mission of caring for the marginalized and advocating for justice. He emphasizes the distinction between platform and purpose, advising that one's identity and impact should not be confined to their profession or public recognition, but expanded into meaningful service for others. Tim recounts the challenges of managing the sudden spotlight after entering the NFL, balancing the desire to focus on the game with the recognition that his visibility could be harnessed for good. He credits wise counsel and a supportive community for helping him navigate the pitfalls of fame and pressure while maintaining humility and perspective. Demi and Tim also describe how their relationship developed, rooted more in shared purpose than common interests or background. Demi first knew about Tim through his philanthropic work, particularly the Night to Shine initiative, which celebrates people with special needs like her sister. Their initial interactions via email and phone calls quickly revealed a powerful connection anchored in mutual passion for serving others, even before meeting face-to-face. The Tebows openly discuss their commitment to fighting human trafficking, a cause they are deeply involved with through their foundation work. They highlight sobering statistics. Millions of people, including children, are trafficked worldwide, with the United States being one of the largest consumer markets. They reveal the difficulty of raising awareness due to discomfort and denial, and even among powerful leaders who sometimes avoid confronting the issue to escape fear for their own families. Tim shares stories from meetings where influential people refused information because it was too painful, pointing out that ignoring the problem only perpetuates suffering. They emphasize that collaboration across organizations, countries, and law enforcement is critical for identifying victims and dismantling trafficking networks. Despite small wins, the overall fight remains a challenging and urgent endeavor fueled by their profound sense of calling and faith. For both Tim and Demi, faith is fundamental, shaping their view of human dignity and guiding their work. They believe that every person is created in the image of God and has inherent worth that cannot be diminished by actions, opinions, or circumstances. They use analogies from the value placed on a penny versus a diamond ring to illustrate how society often undervalues people in distress, urging a shift towards seeing everyone with respect and compassion, regardless of differences or beliefs. Their faith also sustains them through the emotional burdens of their work, helping them embrace both the joy and the responsibility that come with their calling. They strive to express this love practically by advocating for vulnerable populations and encouraging others to act with kindness and justice beyond divisions. Tim and Demi candidly describe their home life and marriage, emphasizing that their public and private selves align closely. Demi shares that Tim's instinct to help others extends into everyday moments, sometimes even leading to impulsive responses during emergencies. Tim, in turn, highlights Demi's relentless compassion and drive, especially in caring for children with severe disabilities and tirelessly working events like Night to Shine. They both recognize they had little surface-level commonality initially, given different languages, cultures, and interests, but were deeply united by shared purpose and values. Their marriage is built on core principles: protecting one another and the vulnerable, seeking wise counsel, fostering compassionate action, standing together in challenges, and embracing both joy and burden in their calling. They note the importance of communication, humor, and grace as they navigate life together. Discussing setbacks, Tim and Demi reflect on how challenging moments have shaped their outlook. Tim describes setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow, comparing failure to being planted rather than buried, suggesting that tough times can lead to greater growth if reframed with the right perspective. Demi agrees, noting that it's easy to be discouraged, but important to recognize that many setbacks serve as springboards to new and better opportunities. They also touch on the difficulty of transitioning out of well-known careers, whether athletic or pageantry, and learning to redefine identity and purpose beyond external achievements. The couple shares insights into their approaches to health and wellness. Demi emphasizes the importance of fueling the body properly, avoiding sugar and processed foods, and staying disciplined. Tim draws on his athletic background, but also mentions adapting his workout routine as life changes, prioritizing brain health alongside physical fitness by incorporating supplements, neurostimulation, and holistic therapies. They discuss advancements such as red light therapy, vitamin 4s, and detox protocols that have enriched their wellness journeys. Morning routines often include devotional time together, coffee, and quality moments with their daughter. They stress how caring for oneself is essential to being effective in carrying out their larger mission. When asked about guidance for those seeking purpose, the Tebows advise looking beyond jobs or titles to one's mindset, skills, heart, and current circumstances, the superset that combines natural gifts and opportunities for impact. They emphasize that purpose often lies in everyday life and small acts of service more than in grand gestures. Both see purpose as about contributing to something greater than oneself and lasting impact. Their faith and personal stories inform this belief, and they hope their experiences will inspire listeners to discover and embrace their own purpose with confidence and compassion. Demi's book is a 100-day devotional focused on unbreakable faith and discovering identity through God, written as she processed the uncertainty after her reign as Miss Universe ended. Tim's book, titled Look Again, invites readers to recognize personal worth, renew hope, and run confidently toward impact. He sees it as a wake-up call to not look away from suffering, but to engage with compassion and action. The episode ends with both encouraging listeners to reflect on their value and the way they see others, underscoring the power of perspective and purpose rooted in love.